Hello, compliments of the season. You are welcome to another tutorial by Brain Boosters Tutorials. My name is Bukunlo Alamilekon Latunji, and this very day for this class, I'm going to look at a topic in economics for SS1 class precisely, and the topic says capital as a factor of production. Capital as a factor of production. So now, like I said earlier, I'm Bukunlo Latunji, and I'm here because I love to transfer knowledge to young scholars. My Facebook name is Omojime Olatunji, so you can just like my Facebook page and view my profile on Facebook. The learning objectives by the end of this lesson, the scholars should be able to define capital, explain the characteristics or features of capital, discuss the types of capital, highlight the importance of capital. So those are the learning objectives. So now let's look at capital. Let's start with the definition of capital. What's capital? Capital may be defined as the man-made assets used in production. Capital may be defined as the man-made assets used in production. This simply means capital refers to man-made assets, wealth, used to produce other goods and services. Production is the process of creating goods and services. So now factors of production are, what are those particular components that makes production possible, and capital is part of it. So capital may be defined as the man-made assets used in production. Man-made assets. Now you'll be wondering, why is capital man-made assets? We have another factor of production that is called land. Land is a free gift of nature, which is not man-made. But for capital, it's man-made, because most times, the money, the building, and many of the resources that serve as capital are all man-made. So examples of capital: we have physical cash, we have machines, we have motor vehicles, buildings. And please do note that the reward for capital is interest. The reward for capital is interest. Now, characteristics or features of capital. Characteristics or features of capital. We want to look at the characteristics or features of capital. So now, number one characteristic or feature of capital is, number one, capital is man-made. Capital in all forms is made by man and can be used for production of goods. Capital is man-made, unlike land that is free gift of nature. Then secondly, capital is durable. That is, capital generally are durable assets that can be used for production for a long period of time. Most times all these heavy duty vehicles, big machines in the plants are gadgets that can be assets that can be used for a long period of time. The only thing they do to them are regular maintenance. They are always being maintained regularly. So then capital exists in different forms, which may be physical, like building, motor vehicle, machine, or we can also have liquid capital, which comes in form of cash or money. So we have liquid capital. You'll be wondering, liquid, solid, are we moving to the science department? No. Liquid means that assets that can easily be spent or that can easily be used. So for example, money can easily be spent now. So that's an example of liquid capital. The capital is subject to depreciation due to regular usage. Machines, vehicles all depreciate after being used for some time. So most times they diminish in value, due to wear and tear. Gradually, when you're using a particular machine or vehicle for some time, when it starts getting to a certain period of years, it starts depreciating. It's no longer very very fit for use. So most times, what some companies will do is just to sell it off, get a new one, procure new machineries. So capital is subject to depreciation. Then capital promotes division of labor. Availability of capital helps make production process divided among many workers. Division of labor is when a particular production process is broken down into many smaller units, and each unit is taken by different employee or different worker. So due to capital now and due to large number of machines in the factory or production plant, division of labor can be enhanced. Division of labor can be enhanced. Now let's look at types of capital. Types of capital. Number one type of capital is fixed capital. These are assets that can be used for production for a long period of time. For example, machinery, buildings, plants, they are all durable assets. They can be used for long. For example, some buildings can be used for 100 years, 50 years, and they'll still be informed. The only thing they will just do to it is that they can just repaint it, do a kind of maintenance work on it. So those are examples of fixed capital. We have circulatory or working capital. These are assets which are used up in the course of production. They either change their form or they are totally utilized during production. For example, raw materials, water, fuel, etc. Working capital are the assets that are used up in production. For example, if you see the chemicals they use to produce pure water sachet, after going through that process, you will not see that particular chemical again. Instead, it's the output you will see. When the fuel in a generator for a plant now, once production is completed, you will not see that fuel again, but it's the product that has been produced that you will see. So that's why we say they are working capital. They are always used up in the course of production. We have current or liquid capital. These are capital used for the daily running of productive activities. These are capital that are used for the daily running of production activities. They also change from one form to another. For example, money, finished goods. Money is a liquid capital. It can be quickly used. You can quickly transform money to maybe raw material now by using money to buy raw material. We also have finished goods. When the company finishes production, they sell it off, and they get their cash back. Then we have social capital. This includes capital or assets provided by the government to aid production. They are likened to social amenities like road, electricity, telephone stand, free internet. Many other social amenities like that are referred to as social capital, in which the citizens of the country can just be able to produce produce some products at a very cheaper rate. For example, now, once there's stable electricity, a tailor, a welder can easily produce products, at a cheap rate. Now, we are going to look at the importance of capital. What are the importance of capital? Number one, capital facilitates production. Through capital, production is visible and mass production can be enhanced. So through capital, production is visible and mass production can be enhanced. It's capital that makes production possible. Without a production plant, without capital, without the necessary machines in a production plant, you cannot produce anything. So capital facilitates production. Secondly, capital boosts efficiency. Availability of capital makes production more quality oriented because more machines are used. Instead of human efforts. Then it assists in location of industry. We have what we call all these industrial estates. So when we have availability of social capital like roads, electricity, to a large extent, the location of a particular industry is defined. So for example, all these industrial estates now are areas where they have good roads, electricity, good internet facility, many other social amenities that will make companies to just set up plants around within that vicinity. Then capital increases the standard of living. Acquisition of assets by either government or individuals helps the currency of a country to have an higher purchasing power, which will promote better standard of living. Any particular country that produces a lot will automatically have an higher standard of living because the purchasing power of the country will keep on increasing. They will even have favorable balance of trade because they'll be able to export more than they import. So capital is very, very important to increase standard of living. Then production of quality goods. Modern and good machines help produce quality products. Modern and good machines help produce quality products. So due to production of because of capital now, quality products can be produced. Durable products can be produced that people will enjoy. The consumers will enjoy the products optimally. So that will be all for now. And I'm delighted to announce to you that the Brain Booster Tutorials has a particular physical lesson now, which is known as Top Scholars Academy, and there's an evening lesson available, for a token. The time is always from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So, and services rendered are for upper primary students and junior secondary, even senior secondary school students too. So the location is at 2/4 Solomon Adekoya Street of Royal Bus Stop, Ikosun, Lagos. So then the online version of our tutorial is Brain Boosters Tutorials. So that's what we do, So like today now, a brief recap. We've looked at the importance of capital, which facilitates production, boosts efficiency, assists in location of industry, increases standard of living, also enhances production of quality goods. We've looked at types of capital, which are fixed capital, circulatory or working capital, current or liquid capital, social capital. Then we also looked at characteristics of capital, which are that capital is man-made, capital is durable, capital exists in different forms, which may be physical like building, capital is subject to depreciation, and capital promotes division of labor. So we also look at examples of capital like physical cash, machines, motor vehicles, building, and we have told that the reward for capital is interest. So I've also looked at the definition of capital, which may be defined as the man-made assets used in production. This simply means capital refers to man-made assets, wealth used to produce other goods and services. So you started with capital now, and I believe by now you already understand what capital is, and you already can explain the characteristics or features of capital, and you should be able to discuss the types of capital and even align the importance of capital. So now we're at the end of the tutorial now, the end of the lesson now. So if you have any question, you can please send it to omojemeconsult@gmail.com. omojemeconsult@gmail.com. If you have any question, you can send it to omojemeconsult@gmail.com. Any question as regards this topic, you can send it to this email address over here, omojemeconsult, or you can send messages to these phone numbers right on your screen. So that will be all for now. I'm Ibukolo Alatunji, an economics tutor, and I'm here to just impact knowledge. And I pray you understand it and learn more. You can do personal studies, to understand these topics regularly. Remember that every learner is a scholar. So thank you for joining our lesson for today. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Bye bye.